वेलकम टू येट अनदर एपिसोड ऑफ सनी साइड अप। आज कुछ खास है, खास इसलिए कि आज के मेरे मेहमान इज वेरी स्पेशल टू मी। तो मैंने सोचा क्यों ना अपने इस स्पेशल मेहमान से मिलकर कुछ इन पर्सन गुफ्तगू की जाए। प्लीज वेलकम माय डियर फ्रेंड एंड पार्ट ऑफ माय लाइफ सपोर्ट सिस्टम 24/7 डॉक्टर संजय सरीन। Hi Sanjay, a very warm welcome to my channel and welcome to my home. It is so nice to finally meet someone in person and do this conversation. I've done so many Zoom interviews and yours is the first one that I'm actually doing in person. So really happy and so nice to see you.
Yeah, I think it's great to be able to meet people in person, up close without masks and all that.
So what does your research, your prediction is about COVID? क्या लग रहा है, क्या situation होगी?
It's like looking into the crystal ball, I guess, and very hard to make any estimates in terms of which way the pandemic goes. But I think the only cause of concern is that majority of the population in Africa is still unvaccinated, which gives the virus an opportunity to mutate. Cannot obviously, bring our guard down. I think testing still remains our first line of defense.
So let's come back to Sunny Side Up. You already know the format, right? It's a candid conversation. It's about you, about your life journey. So let's hear some memories of your childhood, your school, your college life. How has life been so far?
Yeah, I think growing up was fun, I would say, and in fact, I think I remember during those days, and I believe still perhaps in our hinterlands there's always the craving for a male child. I guess I was the first male child of the family, Sarin family, and so my grandfather was, super happy, and and everyone doting upon me, right from my aunts and uncles, the paternal side and maternal side. So I was the cynosure of all eyes, and it was fun for a long time. I think till I sort of started realizing that while it is fun, you always crave for company. And it was almost 11 years when my brother came into existence or came into this world, and I still jokingly tell him that you are almost like an afterthought. But I think overall, growing up was fun. I think birthday celebrations were great. We used to have all of our friends together, and I still remember my mom, and dad, they specifically taking me out for a photo shoot, which would happen every birthday. I think I was a very naughty kid, and I still remember मम्मी मेरे को लेने आती थी बस स्टैंड पे, हमारी समर यूनिफॉर्म यूज्ड टू बी व्हाइट शॉर्ट्स एंड व्हाइट शर्ट। वहाँ पे एक शतूत का पेड़ था हमारे घर के पास, एंड आई वुड ऑलवेज गेट ऑन टू दैट ट्री। अगर एक दो बार कभी बस मम्मी के आने से पहले आ गया, I would get on that शतूत ट्री and my shirt and
रेड हो जाती होगी,
it was all red, and then
दाग अच्छे हैं वाली स्टोरी चलती थी या पिटाई होती थी?
नहीं, पिटाई तो नहीं होती थी। Obviously she would say कि यार तू क्या हड़बड़ी करके आ जाता है, बड़ी मुश्किल से निकलते हैं शतूत के दाग। Eventually फिर हम चंडीगढ़ चले गए, life was like completely different. It was like suddenly तुम एक छोटे से उसमें रह रहे हो, and you are like now suddenly you're exposed to girls, and you're exposed to everything, bikes zipping around, and you're and we had this very famous student center. तो वही शुरू हुआ, classes bunk होनी शुरू हुई, और फिर फर्स्ट ईयर खत्म हुआ तो at the end of the I think second semester में री लग गई। आज तक कभी री लगी नहीं थी, फिर लगा यार ये तो। इस
बीच कोई फ्रेंड्स, कोई टीचर्स, कोई मेंटोर्स, कोई गाइडेंस दे रहा है?
I have a very good friend Ajay Goyal, and he and I stayed connected. He was, I would say, not really a senior, but almost like more of a friend. So we stayed connected, and I would often go to him. And he was also a fairly intelligent guy, good at things and all that. So when you move from BSc honors to MSc honors, suddenly you're supposed to write a thesis and all of that, which was all new. And because I was doing reasonably well, so teachers were also I still remember my guide थे Dr. K.C. Kanwar.
Okay.
And he used to work on reproductive system. And my, this funny story about that, that was the first time I, started working on rats, animal studies. So we used to inject this nicotine. And my dad was a smoker. And that was one reason why I took that also. कि मैं इनको भी कुछ ज्ञान दूंगा जाके कि आप गलत करते हो. So one fine day what happened was that, obviously we were wearing gloves. And, we had to inject these rats. And this guy bit me. It's really sharp. And I got angry. And मैंने उसको झटका मार के ऐसे, and I threw him there. But then I suddenly, I felt really bad. मैं इसको पकड़ के इंजेक्शन लगा रहा हूँ. That is his defense mechanism. इतना तो करेगा. So in fact, so much so that I think from then on I had this empathy for animals. It was I don't know, unfortunate whatever that my degrees they required me to work with animals and all of that for a very very long time. PhD करने के बाद भी, PhD के दौरान भी. So, but I think I had that thing, as much kindness you can.
So let me pause you there. Your father was in government service. एंड उस टाइम पे पेरेंट्स का ये होता था कि उनके बच्चे गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स में लें, तो ऐसा कोई प्रेशर नहीं था पापा की तरफ से?
DRDO के अंदर तो मतलब you can start with a scientist be like you've already done your masters, but somehow मेरा कुछ इंटरेस्ट नहीं था सरकारी नौकरी करने में. तो I was more.
I think उस समय इकोनॉमिक्स खुल गई थी. वो भी अवेयर ऑफ
91.
तो प्राइवेट
कंपनीज वर
आ चुकी थी और
very much there.
And
I think that was perhaps my start of the diagnostics journey, and which I kind of managed to stay on that bus even after so many years. So, and I used to live at my uncle's place, वही पुराना घर जहाँ पे पड़े हुए. That was the great part of it. You're back there, and I reconnected with some of my friends. I still remember, like अब बच्चों को बताते हैं यार तुमने तो कभी बसों में धक्के खाए नहीं, तो वहाँ से 851 नंबर की बस चलती थी जो अभी भी चलती है. तो वो 851 नंबर की बस it would go. So my office was in Ansari Road near Daryaganj. So distributor के ऑफिस में हमारा ऑफिस था छोटा सा. तो headquarters were in Baroda. So वहाँ जाते थे, and but my working area was South Delhi. So मेरे को ऑफिस रोज जाना नहीं पड़ता था. तो मेरे चाचा जी का ऑफिस था सेंट्रल इलेक्ट्रिसिटी अथॉरिटी में, उनका बसंत विहार में ऑफिस था. एंड दैट वाज द टाइम व्हेन PVR had come in. 91 types. And Silence of the Lambs was the first movie which I got there. And I still remember in that 1 year I saw 17 movies.
Wow. तो ये मूवी का कीड़ा वहाँ से लगा PVR से.
When growing up I remember, and my dad was equally fond of movies.
Okay.
And till the very end, he would, or Nandini, my daughter, and Papa, पिक्चर कैसी भी हो, अच्छी से अच्छी हो, घटिया से घटिया हो, उनको अच्छी ही लगती है. बहुत अच्छी पिक्चर थी यार, तो बड़ा मजा आ गया ये. तो I still remember once as growing up as a child we saw 3 movies in 3 days. 9 से 12 का शो. चंडीगढ़ में टिकट वैसे भी बहुत सस्ते थे. But we used to have lower stall, upper stall, balcony. Balcony used to be like 3 रुपए 10 पैसे.
So PVR turned out to be a blessing, huh?
हाँ, PVR was a blessing. But somehow मेरे चाचा जी had an academic bent of mind. उनको लगता था कि यार तू, I did what he wanted to do. He was an engineer. He's an engineer. He wanted to do his masters in physics. तो उनको लगता था कि यार कि संजय वो कर रहा है जो मैं करना चाहता था. And he felt कि यार तूने जल्दी छोड़ दिया पढ़ाई, तेरे को PhD करनी चाहिए. So then I sort of obviously got influenced, and he's a very smart guy. And then I decided कि I quit the job. But then उन दिनों दिल्ली में ट्यूशंस का बड़ा बिजनेस था. You could take private tuitions, and I actually started taking a few private tuitions and started making more money than I was in a job.
Oh really?
So I used to take 3 tuitions, एक आनंद निकेतन में, एक सत्य निकेतन में, एक बसंत विहार में. But again, life was really, I would say, I really enjoyed my PhD days. We had a nice bunch of, I would say, colleagues in the lab, and we used to go out together, watch movies together. फिर अपने experiments भी करते थे and all that. So, तब ये होता था कि PhD के बाद post doc करने जाना. सबका होता था कि बाहर जाना. And everyone thought कि यार Sanjay is the kind of guy who would, be able to. I mean, he's like not. मतलब इसको इंडिया में नहीं रहना चाहिए. My mom would also say कि यार तुम्हें तो post doc करने जाना ही चाहिए. तो and I got through this. I got 2 actually. One in Baltimore in US, and then there was another one in Finland. So I decided to opt for Finland. So Finland पहुंचे. So I still remember my dad coming to drop me. वो शताब्दी में हम अपने चंडीगढ़ से यहाँ आए. तो एयरपोर्ट पर उन्होंने छोड़ा. तो my dad said कि now you're on your own. So those were like big words.
Yeah.
That suddenly out of the house, because मैं कभी hostel में नहीं रहा था, and suddenly out of the house and like 5,000 miles away.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal.
Big deal.
Anyways, पहुंचे Finland. तो Finland maybe it was those months when I was there, Jan Feb, were like the coldest. It was minus 25. It was like a huge cultural shock. And कभी that was the first trip ever. That was the first time I sat in an aeroplane. But it didn't work out. I was obviously very lonely. And Finland was a very lonely place. And those times were like, winter in Finland is not the right time to be there. And I was feeling bad that, but he said कि नहीं यार ऐसे में तो रहने का कोई फायदा नहीं है, you should come back.
Okay. So he was supportive.
He was very supportive. He was very supportive. My brother was very disappointed.
Okay.
Because he was seeing कि यार भाई चला गया बाहर तो मैं भी बाहर जाऊँगा. उसको बाहर जाने का शुरू से बहुत शौक था. He's now in Australia. He's a citizen there. So he's living his life.
He's living his dream.
He was deeply disappointed. यार क्यों आ रहे हो? तो मैंने भी आना था. And all of that. क्या नहीं बस मैंने कहा यार अब नहीं मन लग रहा है तो क्या करें? Carol came back. But somehow I was, not completely sure what life has in store for me in Finland. And in hindsight, it was good that I didn't get back.
Yeah, so destiny had grander plans for you.
Arranged marriage, newspaper ads and all of that, and obviously engaged. And I think we sort of connected in the. I know in Friends we've spoken about this, but since we are now on camera now, so I remember it was this rainy day in Chandigarh.
Okay.
Good dates yaad hai, I'm very bad with dates.
Okay.
So and we met at lake, and then we suddenly thought we'll go to Mount View. That was the only 5-star in Chandigarh then. So we went there और उनके भी सारे लोग बैठे हैं और हमारे भी सारे लोग बैठे हैं. मैंने कहा ऐसे तो कुछ हुआ नहीं. मैंने भी ना बोला. मैंने कहा मैंने उसके बाद can I with your permission? So मैंने कहा let's go out and have a chat. So I still remember standing under a tree and talking to her, and she came across as मिले. And I think next day मैंने मम्मी को बोला कि मैंने कहा I like Reena. And I think it was the same with her. And,
wow.
But we were the first ones to tell them कि
हमें लड़की पसंद है.
And तो रोका भी हो गया. And I think that was start of a new chapter in the life. And I said I was working with Pepsi, and I had this roommate who was with Spice Telecom.
Okay.
तब मोबाइल आए थे. It was the time I'm talking about 98, 99. Mobile had just entered. मतलब incoming और outgoing दोनों के पैसे
लगते थे. हाँ.
This guy was in Spice Telecom और इसका मोबाइल की ना incoming थी ना outgoing, कंपनी का फोन था.
वाह.
तो एक छोटा सा कमरा था जहाँ हम सोने ही आते थे. तो ये सो जाता था भाई. हाँ, ये सो जाता था. And मैं इसका मोबाइल ले गया और for hours talk to you. And I think she still says कि जितनी बातें तुमने तब मेरे साथ करी थी शायद इतने सालों में नहीं करी. So I think those years were tough. They were tough on our marriage. Because all my energies were in the lab. And hats off to Reena that she persisted, she sustained. And I also used to have, be short-tempered because you'd be tired coming in. And used to have these frequent bouts of migraine. And बहुत सिर दर्द होता था. And we always thought कि शायद काम का pressure and all of that. So I literally had we were working on Sundays also. क्योंकि अपनी लैब थी इसलिए we would never say no to a sample. सुबह 7 बजे सैंपल लेने जा रहे हैं, रात को 11 बजे फोन आ रही है तो भी जा रहे हैं. I think but थोड़ा उसमें मजा भी था. And I would take Reena along sometimes. I remember every Saturday we used to go out for dinner with mom, dad, and Nandini was also born in 2002. So I would get a call from एक PGI के पास था collection center, 32 medical colleges, and they were like emergency samples. So then I started carrying a small kit in the boot of my car.
Okay.
Pre-printed performers. So everyone was aware. Call आई, गाड़ी लेके गए, sample लिया, boot खोला, test किया, report दी.
Back to dinner.
Back. So I think that was, but I think that taught me a lot. How to be an entrepreneur. How to kind of. I understood the ins and outs of the diagnostics, which helped me in the coming, which would help me as I would work for other companies then. तो बस वो फिर 5 साल के बाद, and I always had this thing that unless I have to do something different every now and then. तो मैंने कहा नहीं यार, it's done. So I just like that, I decided कि यार बस I'm done. So and it was obviously a big decision, for me, and I had to inform my partner also. I used to connect well with her husband. He was an ophthalmologist. तो मैंने उसको बुलाया. अमरजीत यार, I think अगर अभी नहीं छोड़ेंगे तो I think then it will become bad. So I think it's the right time. He understood. Anyways, that was that, and I got a job in Apollo, and it was like overnight.
Yeah. So what? It was as if something else was waiting for you, and that's
probably
why.
Something. And I just didn't look back.
Yeah.
And I think that's been when I came from PhD to Pepsi to lab, and then lab to Apollo, and around that time, as my boss, my immediate boss, vice president, Mr. Rohit Das. So he said, "Kiya Sanjay, ABC consultants are calling me." He knew that I'm not happy.
Sure.
And he said, "Kiya, Clinton Foundation, sir, there is this job. So do you want to, would you want to try?" I said, "Why not?"
Why not? Yeah.
So, and I still remember I was in Bhatinda in one of our clinics, and I got a call from the consultant, "Ki Sanjay, it's through." So I was like on cloud nine. I was like, wow, yeah. And Bill Clinton and all of that.
Yeah,
it was like completely different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think that was when I would say that whatever I did there, that was a start to a completely new phase of my life. And then this opportunity came along with BD. So I remember talking to my boss in Chai in Clinton Foundation, and I told him कि मैं छोड़ रहा हूँ, and I said these are the two options, BD या ये. He said don't even think, go to BD.
Wow.
So, and I interviewed, and I still remember interviewing with the LT. Yeah. And Sunita obviously did interview. And I think Ram also didn't interview. And I remember speaking to Krista Thompson, who used to be the vice president of local health then. It used to be called as the HIV/AIDS initiative also. And I think I would give a lot of credit to Mr. Sharma, Sunita, Sarisa. They allowed me to blossom in the organization. And I think BD was very patient. They knew the job which they have given me is things are not going to change overnight. And they knew कि time देना पड़ेगा. And I still remember going to Mr. Sharma and asking him, "Sir, what is your vision of this job?" He said, "I am consider this as a white canvas, and I am giving you the liberty to paint it the way you want it. I don't want to tell you कि तू ऐसा कर, तू ये कर, तू वो कर." That was huge. That was also certainly that you are responsible for setting this up. You're responsible for running this. You manage this. I'm not going to interfere. And true to his word, he didn't interfere. He was very, very supportive.
Okay.
And so I think that was great. I think TV शुरू हुआ, and that's how I came in touch with Sorry Saab. And I was still in Chai when Sorry Saab had taken over DS. And I remember him coming to one of our get-togethers. And he was equally excited about obviously having diagnostic systems coming from MedSearch then. And I think I found a very good team, and he was a very learned colleague, and I would say in some ways a mentor.
How do you face a challenging situation? How do you give yourself a pep talk?
I think I'm by nature an eternal optimist.
Okay.
I firmly believe that things can't stay wrong or stay bad for a long period of time. Eventually they have to get better. So I think that's what has sort of driven me through my life. And it's not that, through this journey of whatever 30 odd years, there have been lots of ups and downs. But I've, fortunately been able to come out of it, thanks to sort of, the guidance and support and, a lot of love which I've gotten from my family. I think my family has been like a rock, forever.
Let me now lighten the mood here. And in typical Kapil Sharma style, let me ask you, did you ever think that you will be talking on social media about your life via me?
नहीं, ऐसे तो नहीं सोचा था कि मतलब कर रहे होंगे, मतलब जैसे तेरे साथ कर रहा हूँ. So I think this is nice, and I think this is also thanks to you that you have embarked on this thing, this new journey of your life, and it is also, I think, in order to have such candid conversations, you need to have that comfort level. And I think you have that comfort level with a lot of people. When I was just talking to Reena the other day, and I was thinking that, that all along these years that you've been with BD and, now with Vitality, I think you've left a kind of trail of goodness behind you. And which is what you're mopping up, which is what you're gathering. And when Dinesh was around, I think we always used to think of you guys like a great couple.
Time now to move to another segment of the show, and that is called Rapid Fire Round. You've been to so many places. So your favorite place, country, city, and why?
I think my favorite country is still India.
Okay.
You know, and I like to be in hills.
Mhm.
You know, Kasoli is one of my favorite places. would
I
say.
thought तुम गोवा बोलोगे. The amount of times you go to Goa.
Goa में कुछ ज़्यादा इसलिए जाना पड़ता है because Reena and kids they like to go to Goa.
Okay.
When given to me, I would every time either go to Rajasthan or
Okay.
go to hills.
Okay. Next question. Any book recommendations?
Yeah, I think I would this book. It was actually an audio book which I read on Audible. Was Ride of a Lifetime. You know, this is about the guy who's head of ABC and how he started and how he sort of grew up to head up and
So it's
that
a
merger.
biography.
Yeah, it's a biography.
Okay. Next question. If I have to ask you to describe, I know we've been talking about Reena throughout. So if I have to ask you to just describe her in one word, what will that be?
Rock.
Rock solid. Okay, great. If you have to describe yourself in one word.
Impatient.
Okay. I know you're a movie buff. You've openly accepted that. So tell me a favorite movie.
Favorite movie? I really don't know. I mean, I think I like watching Bond movies.
Okay.
And I can watch them over and over and over again. And now they're running them on Amazon Prime, so
Yeah.
I'm reliving those.
Okay,
So I would say
so
Bond movies are my favorite.
Okay, great. Favorite actor or actress?
Favorite actor? I like Akshay Kumar.
Okay.
And actress, I like Katrina Kaif.
Okay, great. Okay, a one word for maybe Sanat, your son? If you have to describe him.
So naughty.
Naughty. Okay. And how about your apple of your eye, Nandini?
I think both are the apples of my eye. So
No, you are biased.
she's a sweetheart.
Okay. That was my mulaqat with a trusted friend and my advisor. Hope you enjoyed this conversation. We both had tears in our eyes at one point in our conversation today. Hence, closing with this beautiful message that memories are always special. Sometimes we laugh by remembering the days we cried, and sometimes we cry by remembering the days we laughed. That's life. See you next Sunday on yet another episode of Sunny Side Up. Until then, look up at Sunny Side Up.